Okay, yeah, I can. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Yeah, later. So guys, are we together? Yaba, are we together? Yeah. Okay, Lekki, are we together? Yeah. Ogba, are we together? Yes, yeah. All right, so I'm trying to show you how to insert an image, and I'm saying the simplest way for you not to have any challenge inserting an image is simply to copy your file, copy that image into the same look. So if your HTML file is saved on your desktop, then try to use an image for the purpose of this class, for the purpose of this test you want to do now. Try to link an image on your desktop. If your work is saved on in my document, try to locate a picture or a file in my document. If your work is saved on, say, downloads folder, try to also use an image in downloads folder, or better still, just copy any image you want to use, copy it into the same folder as where your HTML file is saved. That's what I'm trying to do right here for my own side. So my file is saved in is saved inside lectures folder, right? And it's saved as lecture1.html. So I've just copied and pasted my own picture. I'm going to have to rename it to say image1, right? I've renamed it to image1.jpg so that I can easily use it in my work. So now that that is done, I can go back to my imgsrc code and I can just type image1.jpg. Do we understand that? It's that easy. But if your file is not in the same location as where your HTML file is saved, you have to do what we call direct linking. So you have to specify where you have to keep specifying a subdirectory and a subdirectory and a subdirectory to reach that file. But I don't want to complicate your mind yet. So just copy the file and put it in the same place where your HTML file is saved and just use the name directly and it will work. So I've done mine. Let me refresh and show you what I have on the page. Okay, so I've saved, and then I have this huge image right here because the image is very big. It's showing very, very big. All right, so that will take us to the next attribute. But before that, let's everybody just really try that out. So let me allow you to try that. So copy an image on your pictures folder or anywhere. Grab an image, copy it into the same location as where your HTML file has been saved, and then use it in your img tag quickly.
And someone has not been able to save their HTML, right? HTML format. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Moshe. I can hear you. You said someone has not been able to what?
To save their code.
Sorry?
So, HTML format. So, can you picture it again? How you did it?
The HTML format.
If there's any question, let's just ask. Yeah. You missed that. No, please, we must catch up. Most of this is that we have a lot of projects and we want to make sure everybody understands what we're doing. But no, I'm not here to prove my yet for.
All right, can we move on now? Lekki, can you mute yourself if you are talking to yourselves there and not to us? All right, can we proceed now? Ogba, can we proceed? Yaba, can we proceed? Do you all have your images showing on your browser now? Some people are still trying to do that as Yaba. Let's wait for them. Then Lekki, I guess you all have your images straight, right? Lekki, can we proceed? Okay. So we're waiting for Yaba. Yaba, do we all have the images? You guys are good, okay. Okay, so we can proceed. Everybody's fine. Ogba, can we proceed? Confirm again. Ogba, do you all have your images showing correctly on your browser? Okay, so we can move ahead. So, like I said, that takes us to the next attribute, right? So, for example, my image is quite large. My image is quite large, and you can see right now that it's kind of filling my entire screen. So that takes me to the next attribute that is called width. Still inside the image tag, it's called width. And then I'm going to have to specify the size of my image so that it's not just taking the full image. It's not displaying the full image in the browser. I don't want that. It's too large. So I'm going to have the attribute called width. And I'm going to have to specify that I want it to be 100 pixel. 100 pixel, meaning that it should reduce it to 100 pixels. So I'm going to refresh my screen now. And then I should have my image becoming small like this. This is exactly 100 pixels. So the same thing you should do on your side. If your image is quite large, just apply the attribute called width and give it any size or any dimension you want. 200, 150, 500 pixel, and then you will see the image here adjusting to that size. Have you done that? Have you all done that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's that simple. So the same thing apply for the height. So if you want to constrain the height, say you want to apply some sizing, resizing to the height, you just give it an attribute called height, and then you can give it the size. So that's it. So these are all attributes of tags. And then for every tag you have, most of them come with some attributes. So we'll be looking at this attribute as we move along in the course, right? So let's proceed to the next tag. The next tag we're going to be looking at is what is called list. It's called a list. So I'm going to just write it out as a paragraph. We are looking at a list. So there are two types of lists, right? There's what we called ordered list. Let me break right here. So we have ordered lists. When you talk about ordered lists, let me just switch over here if I can explain so that you can see it here. Okay, so this is it. So we just left the H1 and all of that. So let's look at the list, right? So there is what we call the ordered list and then the unordered list. Yeah, but you guys are still trying. I don't want to be distracted. So once I'm kind of teaching, you guys should focus so that you will not miss out on the next thing I'm going to talk about. Should I hold on for you guys as Yaba? Okay. Ogba, are we together too? Everybody done listening now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking about lists. And what are lists? List is that tag that you use in displaying a set of items. So anytime you will have something, like for example, you have this, say you have list of favorite foods, or you have list of things you want to display. So anytime you just want to display some set of items on the screen, then you have to use a list. But what's the difference between ordered list and unordered list? Ordered list will give you just bullets, right? Sorry, unordered list will give you bullets. So for example, you have, let's try it. I think instead of explaining, it's better you just sit on the screen. Let's just do it. So I'm going to give you a UL. So every list, whether it's ordered list or unordered list, you have UL starting it, and then you have the list itself, LIs. So this is kind of creepy because so far we've been dealing with just a tag that is maybe a P tag, open, P tag, close. But this list kind of tag, it starts like with a UL, and the UL stands for unordered list. So the U is the unordered and the L is the list. So you have unordered list, and then the LIs is the actual list that you're kind of typing out. So I'm going to list my favorite foods, for example. So let me call it favorite places, right? List of favorite places, right? And then I'm using the unordered list type of list. So I'm going to call it, say, Bamako. Another list is Harare, say, Lusaka, say the Bahamas. Okay, so these are the list of favorite places I've been to and I want to, live or stay. So let's see what this looks like on the screen. So now that it's an unordered list, what you get, like I said before, is a bullet point. What you get is a bullet point. There's an error on the page, but I want someone to kind of detect it and tell me what the error is. Why am I having a blank space here? For those guys who already know HTML before now. My what? Interesting. That's great. Yeah, that's great. So you guys are hot. All right. So that's it. So let me do a refresh and then that should close up. Yeah. So that's it. So an unordered list, like I said before, will just give you bullet points. Depending, you can even change the style of these bullet points. And that will bring me to the next exciting thing that you need to know. So I love developing with Chrome browser because it gives you what we call the console or the developer tool that can allow you to inspect your code and see exactly what it looks like. You can play around with it in the browser without even typing the code, before you see. So let me just show you how to do that. So for those of you who are using Chrome browser, right? You can right click on any part of your screen or any part of your work, and you will see this item called inspect. So this inspect will allow you to launch what we call your developer console, which is coming up right now. So this is your developer console. It's called the Dev Tools, and it shows you the exact HTML content that is represented on that page. And the exact thing about it is that it also shows you the current styling on the right-hand side here. Can you see my mouse moving, right? Can you all see that? So it shows you the current CSS styling that's applied to any element on the screen. So when we get to CSS, we see how I'll be able to change all the items on this page. And then it's kind of very robust. You can use it to view your mobile responsiveness. You can use it to view how it will look like on different screens, your iPhone, your Galaxy phones, and all that. So I will explain all that. But right now, just be aware that there's something called the developer tool on your console, and how to bring it up again is to right click on any page, any part of your page, and then you will see the last item called inspect. Click on it, it will launch your dev tool, and then you can play around with it. So going back to where we stopped, this is an unordered list because it comes with these bullet points, right? So let's try the other list, the other type of list called the ordered list. The ordered list starts with an OL, and the O stands for the ordered part of it, ordered list, and then the list itself still remains the same. So I'm going to just copy this and then paste it. Once I paste that, I will save, I will refresh, and then we'll get a new set of lists. So you see the difference. The ordered list is numbered, and the unordered list is just bullets. So that's the difference between ordered list and unordered list. So one is ordered, the other is not ordered. It's that simple. Are we all following? Yeah, but guys, are we together? Yeah, Lekki Center, are we together? Lekki Center, are we together? Yeah, okay. Ogba Center, are you guys there? Are we together? Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let me quickly jump back to the slide to see what I'm missing now, because pretty much HTML is that simple that will be done, and then once you start practicing, you'll be exposed to a lot more tags, because I will not cover all the tags, but I'm going to give you what we call a cheat sheet, right? Is a kind of a one-page workbook or a worksheet that contains all the tags in HTML. So you will have that, and you can go along with that, by this evening, you can look at that on your own and look at all the things you need to do. So the next thing we're going to do is what we call the anchor tag. The anchor tag. The anchor tag is very critical because that's what allows you to link to every part of your page. You can link to the same, different locations on the same page, or you can link to another page. So let's look at what that means. Anchor tag. How do you write an anchor tag? It's simply an A tag, right? Like that. It's as simple as that. It's an A tag, it's an anchor tag. And what you have in there is usually a link to some place, right? You have a link to some place. So you have a link to some place, right? And then how do you specify where it should link to? You have an attribute called href, which is the reference to where it should link to. And right inside that href tag, href attribute, that's where you will specify where this anchor tag should link to. Do we all understand that? So let me try that. So for example, I want this thing to link to Facebook. I will just type http://facebook.com, and that is the location I want this link to go to. And then in between the anchor tag open and anchor tag close, I can put whatever text I want there. And that text, when it's clicked, it will take me to that href location. So let's practice that and see. So I'm going to refresh. Once I refresh, I should get this text saying link to some place below my screen. And then it's currently pointing to Facebook. When I click on it, it should take me to Facebook. Do we all understand that? So that's how to do, how to insert an anchor tag on your page. So can we all try that? So just create an anchor tag on your page, any part of your page, and then link it to some place you want, any page of any website of your choice. It's an A tag with an attribute called href. Let me just paste this out so that you can see it in the work. Have we all done that? Sorry, can Fumi Ogba, can you just wave your hand? Let me see you. All right. And Pascal Yaba, can you just wave your hand? Let me see you. All right, thank you. All right. Are we good to go? Can we continue? Yeah, but can we move on? Okay. Ogba, can we move on?
Yes, sir.
Lekki, can we move on? Do you have your anchor tags working now? All right, great. So that's all about the anchor tag. So like more attributes like the other attributes you can add to an anchor tag, you get to see them along the way. So let's go to the next one. We've said that already. We've said that already. Okay. We've said all that. So there's like an attribute called target. Target is an attribute of anchor tags that allow you to decide whether the link should open in a new tab or it should open in the current tab. So it's very simple. Let me just show you how to do that. So for this same link that I have here going to Facebook, I can just specify the target. The target can either be parents or it can be _blank. _blank means that it's telling the browser that anytime they click on this link, it should open it in a new tab. And then when I do self or parent, it should open in the same tab. So that's another attribute. But like I said, I'll give you a worksheet that contains all the tags in HTML, and it contains the meaning of all these tags, and you can experiment with them. I've given you the basic. The basic is that you have open start tag, you have closing tags, you have self and closing tags. I told you how to use them, how to experiment with them. So once you see a workbook like this, let me just click on it and put it up. So you have something like this. Okay, something like this. What is it? Okay, so something like this I'm going to send to you, right? So once you have this, this contains, let me zoom up a little. Okay. Okay, so this contains a list of all the tags in HTML, right? And we've gone through most of them, the paragraph, the break, you know, the HTML structure, the title, the ULLIs, and all of that, right? We've gone the horizontal line, and then some of the attributes. So this will tell you how to use what and what they stand for and what they do. So all you need to practice is, for example, say you want to, let me look for one you have not done before and you need to use it. So for example, you want to do, let's see, let us pick one randomly. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I almost forgot everything. Let me just do the strong. The strong is almost similar to the B I used before. So if you want to use a strong, what I'm trying to show you is that if you encounter any tag anywhere, it's very easy to use it or practice and see what it stands for. Just look for that tag and then type it out. So I have a strong tag, right? Inside the strong, I can just say test out and see. And then when I go back to my browser, excuse me, I can refresh and then I will see what that looks like. So you can see it here. It's simply to make any text strong or bolded, right? So that's it, that's simple. So once you have that, you can test out. So I'm going to send this on the Slack group after this class, this particular worksheet, and then you can practice everything. So the last thing for HTML for today, once I cover this last part, which is the form part of it, we're actually done with HTML. That's all about HTML. And then we're going to have to give you a sample classwork or kind of a small project, which everybody will have to go through together to practice all the tasks we've done. And then once you can do that, you are fine. You are good with HTML already. You're already one step ahead of every other person that has not attended this training. All right, so let's look at forms quickly. So what are forms? How do you use forms? So for any dynamic site you are designing, for any dynamic page, you will always have forms, right? Forms are those elements on the page that allows you to accept input from the users. So you want to accept, let me just create a new page. Let me call it form so that I don't have my page cluttered with different things. Just call this lecture 1A. And then I'm going to wipe out everything. So we can start with forms. All right. So I said forms are the HTML elements that you use in accepting input from the users, right? So once you go to a site where, say for example, you want to submit your CV and apply for a job, you're going to be asked to fill a form, and then you type your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number, and then you click on submit, or sometimes you upload your CV, you click on the choose file button, you upload your CV, or you upload something. So these are forms, and what they essentially do for you is to allow you to send information to the server and save it so that the admin of the site can access those kind of content and then do what it needs to do with it. So how do you build a form in HTML? Any tag that you want to start, you always start with the open tag. So the form tag also exists. So you have the form open tag and you have the form closing tag, right? Just the way you have the body open and body close, HTML open, HTML close, head open, head close. You have the form open, form close. So every form element you're going to have to create will go within this form. And you can have multiple forms on the same page, but you cannot have forms inside forms. So I can't say I'm creating another form inside this place. If I do that, what will happen is that whatever submit button I put in here will only submit one of them, not the two. So what I can have is another form on the same page. So I can have one form right above here, its own submit button. I can have another form below it, which is also submit button. So you can have as many forms as you want on the same page, but you can't have forms inside forms. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's look at the form elements that you have. The first one I'm going to look at, which is probably the most common that you will ever use, is called the input HTML tag or input element. It's a self-enclosing tag, and it's simply written that way, the way I just typed it out on the screen. Though it's going to come later with a lot of attributes, but right now, just imagine that it's written like this. Input is a self-enclosing tag, and when I go to my browser, I've saved, I'm clicking Ctrl+S now. I've saved my work. When I go to my browser to refresh, let me reduce this screen again so I can see side by side. All right, so when I go back to my browser to see what we have, I'm going to have to change this to lecture 1A because we're now on the new page. So this is a typical input box. Can you all see it? Can you all see that? So that's an input box. So let me add something to the top so that it makes it look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to add a label. A label is that tag that allows me to give like kind of, from the word label you can tell, it just allows me to label the input field so that the user can know exactly the kind of information to put into that input box. So I'm going to put a label above this our input box, and I'm going to call it first name, such that the label is not the input box. Don't get it mixed up. So the label is just a simple text like paragraph that is just to show to the user that, okay, this input box you're seeing is for your first name. So I've inserted a label here with the text, the first name, and then I have an input box right below it for the user to type his first name. So when I refresh my browser, I should get this. Do you see that? There is a lady right in Lekki, right, with wearing kind of a black suit with a white inner. Can you tell us your name, please? And I'm not seeing you typing anything so far. Are you following us? Yes, yes. Are you with us? I can't hear your voice. Okay, okay. All right, so that's the label, and I hope it's clear. Yeah, but is it clear? Okay, so that's cool. So let's move on. So that's the input box. But let's look at something interesting about this input box is that you can actually have different kind of input boxes. So that introduces us to the attribute called type. There's an attribute called type that allows us to indicate the kind of input box that we want to use. So you can say the type of input box you want is text, or you want the input box to accept phone numbers, or you want the input box to accept, say, emails, or you want the input box to accept different kind of information. So you can say you want to accept number only. So let's look at all these different kind of input box. So what I will just do is list them all out, and then I will change their attributes. So I'm going to duplicate all of this. And then this first one should accept email. This next one should accept phone number. This next one should accept, what else can you have? Text. This one should accept, say, file. And then this one should accept, what else can we have there? For those guys who are good with HTML already.
Message.
Sorry?
Message.
Message.
Password.
Okay, password, great. Yeah, password. So these are some of, there are a lot of them, but these are some of the input types that you can have. So let me just put a label above each and every one of the input boxes. So I'm going to put phone here. And I'm going to put, for the text, I'm going to put, say, the city. And then for the next one, I'm going to have to put your CV, upload CV. And then for the last one, I'm going to have to put password. And then let's see what this will give us. Can we all look up and see what this will give us? I'm going to refresh my screen. And then we have something like this. Okay, for now, let's use break to break them all up because it's all messed up now. We don't have CSS yet, so We'll just use break to break them into separate lines. I'm going to add break at the end of each line. We've already learned, we learned break earlier on in the course, so let's look at this. So let's break it up. Okay, so we have this. So it's not still looking interesting, but I'm going to have to add double breaks, so that I have a little bit of more space.